What's up, y'all? I'm Janesh, Rahlan. Welcome to another episode of Comedy and Magic Club's Behind the Punchlines. What inspired you to become a stand-up comedian? I was the funny kid growing up. I would put jokes in like speech team speeches. I was putting jokes in class presentations, and so later on when I had to work a real corporate job, I was like, I don't want to do this. How do you make money telling jokes instead? And the answer is not stand-up comedy, but it is a fun way to maybe figure out how to eventually one day make money. Man, I was fortunate enough to grow up in a time of such great stand-up comedy. Some of the people who influenced me early on, Chris Rock, Russell Peters, Jon Stewart, I'm thinking like later in the day, Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle was huge. Robin Williams, I absolutely loved watching that. Robin Williams, like Scottish golf thing, hilarious. I've had a lot of rough performances. One that sticks out in particular, I was performing at a Hawaiian sandwich shop, and I just absolutely bombed at like 5 p.m. for a bunch of dudes in their 60s who probably had no clue that comedy was happening, and they were there for their sandwiches, and instead they got me talking about whatever the hell it is that I was talking about that day. What's your secret to connecting with your audience? Okay, so I love this question because I think a lot of comics will talk, but they won't connect with their audience. I feel like I can connect because I'm going up there with a lot of authenticity. I'm talking a lot of trash to them, but I'm doing it from a place of love. I love the audiences. I think it is a comedian's job to really give it their go when they're performing, because you have no idea what an audience did to get there. You don't know if they hired a babysitter, if they had to get tickets well in advance. You have no idea what they did during their week, during their day to get to your show. So you got to put it on for them, and you got to do it by connecting at a very real, authentic level. You know what I'm saying? What's one misconception people have about stand-up comedy? Okay, so people think comics are always like joking around, these extroverted individuals, etc. Most of my friends are introverts, and they're so sensitive. Comics are really sensitive, and I don't think people fully understand that. I mean, like, think about what you have to go through to be like, you know what, every night I'm gonna go seek validation from a room full of strangers. So my favorite comedy special all time, it's really hard to pick one, but if I had to, I'm gonna say Killing Them Softly by Dave Chappelle. I think like pretty much start to finish, except for like one joke, I don't need to say which one, but pretty much the whole time, incredible special, absolutely hilarious. You got a baby selling crack in the ghetto, you got him talking about really important things, but doing it in such a funny way. I mean, that was like, oh, you see that and you're like, oh, this is where people knew he had that magic, you know? If you could collaborate with any comedian, living or dead, who would it be and why? I think I would choose Robin Williams to collaborate with. I think Robin was hilarious. He was able to discuss a range of topics. He brought such a levity to people. And listen, I know that he may come across as extra and wild, but here's the thing, so am I. I'm annoying as hell. Me and Robin can annoy each other the whole time, okay? If you weren't a comedian, what career do you think you would have pursued? Okay, so there's two ways to answer this, all right? One is like, if I'm an adult and I don't know what career, I'd probably work in like investing of some sorts, unfortunately. I know that sounds lame, but that's probably what I would do. And if I was a kid and I knew they're like, you can't do comedy, oh my God, I'd be on the soccer pitch every day figuring out how to be a professional soccer player. That's what I would do. I'm 5'7", dude. I can't do much with this height in terms of like athletic stuff, but could I have been the same height as Lionel Messi playing out there? You bet your ass I would have comedy and magic. Okay, so any comedian who's been doing this long enough will tell you we perform comedy at the weirdest places all the time. If you give us a mic and a speaker and an audience, we will hold them hostage. The weirdest place I've done it probably is a summer camp for high schoolers who had no idea what I was talking about the whole time. The only thing that actually worked was when I just started making fun of each of the kids one by one. They loved that. And so I just asked them which classmates they wanted me to roast. Did I technically encourage bullying? Probably, yes. But did they have fun as a result of that bullying? Also, yes. And contractually, my job is to make sure they laugh, all right? How has your perspective on comedy evolved since you first started, especially regarding sensitive topics? Okay, this is huge because I started comedy when people were like, oh, cancel culture. And I was like, oh, maybe it's real. No, it's not. You can joke about anything, okay? You can joke about anything you want, but you gotta make it funny. So whatever issue you think you can't talk about, yes, you can, but you better write some goddamn punchlines. How long have I been performing at Comedy and Magic? I started performing here in the summer of 2025, and it's been awesome. Honestly, the staff here is wonderful. The audiences are great. This club is like a dream. If you are trying to figure out how to start a comedy club, come here, clone whatever is happening, and just go do that, okay? Because this is the best. What's been my comedy journey before I got to Comedy and Magic? So I started comedy in San Francisco at a bar called Grant and Green that no longer exists, okay? It was a Tuesday night open mic, and it was famous because the townies would try to fight the comics. And so, here's the thing, if you want to perform at Comedy and Magic, go find a dive bar near you, okay? And just bomb and bomb until one day you start getting laughs, and then after that, you'll start getting booked on shows. Once you start getting booked on shows, you're gonna bomb there. And then you're gonna bomb consistently until you figure out, hey, what's actually funny? And then you're gonna start going on the road. And then you're gonna bomb in other cities you've never been to. So far, if you're following, you're like, hey, the most consistent thing is bombing. You're right, that is absolutely what it is. The path to doing this at a place like Comedy and Magic, you gotta be uncomfortable and you gotta grow in other places, and then eventually you will make your way here. What are your hopes for the future of your comedy career? Okay, so I, would love to be a touring comedian, headlining clubs, theaters one day, etc. But more than anything, I would love to be on The Daily Show. If I can figure out how to be on The Daily Show, talking about what's important while making it funny, that would be the dream.